come to the fork in the road yet in your career development? Has a fork happened? If it hasn't, it's coming. In every athletic endeavor and every business endeavor, success comes after a fork in the road. What do I mean by that? It means if you look back when you're done playing, there will be a seminal moment at some point where you can say things went left or right, either good or bad. And in my case, at a very interesting fork in the road where my career took off, where it could have easily had me pumping gas in Strathroy for the rest of my life. It happened in Tillsonburg, Ontario. I was playing Junior B for the Strathroy Rockets, and I was named to the All-Star team. When I get there, you know what an All-Star game's like. No defense, lots of offensive chances, guys trying to show up. And back then, scholarships for Canadian kids were realistic opportunities. In Junior B, back then, they'd send 10, 12 kids a year on full rides. So, all college teams, Michigan, Michigan State, Bowling Green, Ohio State, Miami of Ohio, were all represented at that All-Star game to decide who was going to get scholarships. One of the key people there was Mitch Korn. Mitch Korn was the goalie scout / assistant coach for the Miami Redhawks. Back then, they were called the Redskins. So I'd been reached out to by him before the game, and he said he was going to be there, and he wanted to make a decision. So there's some pressure. I know the scouts there. I know the potential for full scholarships on the line. I knew before the game this would be my fork in the road. So Bo Horvat's dad and uncle, Tim and Ron Horvat, were playing against me. First shot on net, Timmy Horvat cashes in a loose puck rebound. I'm down 1-0, 12 seconds into the game. And here is where the fork in my road happened. I remember skating over to the corner and telling myself, and I'll bleep it out, I am not pumping gas in Strathroy the rest of my life. Went back to the crease, composed myself, and I stopped 28 shots in the remaining part of the first half of the game. We were splitting the games in the All-Star game back then. So in half a game, I think I went 28 saves on 29 shots and found a way to make the fork in the road go the way I wanted it. Because after the game, Mitch Korn came up to me and offered me a full scholarship to Miami of Ohio, which later parlayed under his coaching and his tutelage into a second-round draft choice of the Vancouver Canucks and onward to play in the NHL on December 5th, 1990. So, if I let in that second puck in the All-Star game, I likely would become a Chiquita Banana goalie, giving up goals in bunches. I could have gave up 8. And then I'd be telling everybody, when I was an old man like I am now, that I could have played in the NHL if things went that way. So what does that mean for you? It means if you haven't come to that fork in the road in your career right now, be mindful that it is coming, where your career is going to go one way or the other. And if you're an adult now playing in the beer leagues, playing rec hockey, and your career didn't pan out, have an honest introspection, because I think you could pass that along to some kids you may come across as a coach or a mentor and say, listen, I know when I was 17, I had a fork in the road. Maybe it was an injury in a car accident. Maybe it was something where you didn't do enough dry land training. Maybe it was something where you got kicked off a team for this reason or that reason. But at the end of the day, I firmly believe every one of you watching this either has already had your fork in the road or your fork in the road is coming. So, good luck navigating the fork in the road.